Welcome to this first WebEx from AppLabs in relation to Test Process Improvement, or TPI. My name is Laura Cashy and I am currently AVP for Test Process Consultancy within AppLabs. Although I have undertaken a variety of testing roles over the years, from automated tester to test program manager, in the main I have concentrated on strategic test consultancy, which includes work such as defining test strategies for major programs, undertaking test process reviews, and implementing test process improvement. Most of the work I have undertaken has been in the banking and financial services industry, and in fact I am currently undertaking a TPR for a major bank in the States. Today's presentation will be based on this experience more so than what's written in the textbooks. This will be the first of 3 scheduled AppLabs presentations on TPI, and details of the remaining presentations will be published in due course. In today's WebEx we will discuss why it is important that your TPR aligns to your business and test objectives. However, we will also take a look at the way organisations undertake test process reviews. TPRs need to be considered within a wider test improvement programme to realise the full benefits of them. Why invest in doing a TPR if you're not going to do anything with the recommendations? This presentation will go on to address some of the key issues encountered when implementing TPRs and TPIs and how to address some of those issues. The agenda for today's presentation includes the following items. Firstly, I will answer the question as to why any business should invest in testing. I will define TPR and TPI so that we have a common understanding of what we're discussing today. I will outline the benefits that a well-executed TPR should deliver and touch on why they don't often achieve their objectives and how to navigate away from some of the pitfalls. I will address the process for implementing successful TPRs before going on to discuss TPIs. In the TPI section of this presentation, I will also address the benefits that a well-executed TPI should deliver, the key pitfalls to avoid, before finally defining a high-level process for successfully implementing TPI. We will then finish with a summary of how to convince your boss to do a TPR, and 10 steps to a successful TPI before we close the presentation. So why invest in testing? I personally believe there is only one answer to this question, and that is that if you don't invest in testing, your business will suffer. What do most of you think of when you see this plane taking off without its luggage? Well, I'm pretty certain that most people, certainly in the UK audience, thought about the British Airways Terminal 5 fiasco. British Airways lost millions in a matter of days when Terminal 5 opened. More stringent testing of the baggage systems would certainly have allayed at least some of those problems. So how do you ensure that you are doing testing well? Well, you have to continuously review and implement improvements, i.e. do a TPR and a TPI. So what is TPR? TPR is the review of all or part of an organisation's test processes in order to offer recommendations for improvement that also align with the business and test objectives of your organisation. For instance, what is the point of offering recommendations that considerably extend your test life cycle if your organisation's objectives are to get their products to market quicker? It should also be noted that TPRs don't have to review the entire test process or all dependencies. If you have a small budget and have a few specific areas of concern, just address these. One of our recent clients just wanted to assess the readiness for moving from a monthly to a quarterly release schedule. Another wanted to assess the readiness for test automation. Yet another client had problems getting good quality business requirements for UAT testing and only wanted us to review and make recommendations on this. On the other hand, TPI is the process of implementing the agreed recommendations, normally as a result of a TPR or other type of review taking place. Undertaking a test process review is no doubt an excellent method for kick-starting test process improvement. Even if you think you are aware of most of the issues affecting testing within your organisation, undertaking a TPR allows you to formally document those issues and look at ways for resolving and mitigating those issues. However, what you will find is that most people in your organisation will have recognised those same issues and possibly more. They will also have different and sometimes better ways of resolving those issues, and that is why it is key to involve the right people from your organisation within the test process review. This is unlikely just to include your test resources. Project managers, developers and the business can all provide insight and aid the resolution to the identified testing problems. However, a good test process review should be so much more than just identifying the issues. It should detail the organisation's strengths from which your organisation can build on. It should also offer a baseline from which you can measure future improvement. A good TPR will also offer recommendations for improvement that are aligned to your business and test objectives, and where possible detail the return of investment, or ROI, that the organisation can expect to receive from implementing the recommendations. Basically, a good TPR should help you build the business case for test process improvement. So why do many organisations that undertake TPRs in good faith leave the business case for investing in the TPI on a shelf gathering dust? My experience shows that there are a number of key reasons why TPRs fail to hit the mark. We have already mentioned it is important to get the right people involved in a TPR. Not only does it increase the quality of the review, it will also help the same people to accept and adjust to any improvements that may be implemented as a result of the recommendations made. Another pitfall is that many organisations adopt a best practice model, such as test maturity model or Spaghetti TPI, and review their testing processes against the chosen model without taking into consideration or even understanding their business or testing requirements. This often means that many of the ensuing recommendations will never achieve buy-in or investment as a result of them not being aligned to the organisation's objectives. Before starting a TPR, it's essential to understand and define your business and test objectives. Once this is done, you can still use these best practice models, but review your recommendations carefully before publishing to ensure they fit with your organisation's objectives. Alternatively, feel free to develop a model specific to your requirements or customise one or a combination of these best practice models to ensure they meet your business and test requirements prior to the TPR taking place. However, the biggest pitfall I have seen is that when organisations fund a test process review, they do so as a one-off activity and don't think about subsequent investment. There are actually very few occasions where you just need to do a TPR. And although it's unlikely that you will get commitment for an agreed budget at this stage in the process, it is important to ensure that stakeholders buy into the premise that this will be an ongoing process and that you will need resources and budget both to implement the findings and then review both the results and the actual ROI generated against the estimated ROI. This buy-in from stakeholders should occur at the same time as getting agreement for the TPR budget. Another way that test process reviews can fail to meet expectations is that the people executing them view them as an audit process, and as such